Hey viewers, welcome to another game of the Casual Pro Gamer. So this is a really old Starcraft 2 replay, it seems. It is between LiquidTLO, the little one as the Terran in the top part of the map, and MouzHasu as the Protoss in the bottom part of the map. Yeah, this is really old. The whole UI is super old, as well as the hotkeys don't actually work yet. So we're going to have to work with whatever is here. So yeah, we do have a few of the screens that I can show you, but that's about it. Anyway, this is supposed to be a really good game, so hopefully it's worth it. And yeah, well, for now, we'll just going to have to see what they can make out of this. So it's a Protoss versus Terran, which, well, in this scenario kind of meant that we were going for, I believe, mech on the Terran player versus gateway units and some robotics units on the Protoss side. So yeah, we'll have to see if they actually do that, because maybe they have other plans. And for now it is just a standard gateway and barracks and, well, everything of course to set up. So no wall-off created with that first supply depot. First supply depot was actually used to block a gap in the minerals to prevent people from running their scouts through there. Because, well, now you have to stay behind this and it makes it easier to pick you off and blah blah. It yeah, it's not the way it's now done. Now people just place their buildings all over here to just wall that off to make sure that the scout can never even go in. So you don't have to deal with it at any point. So cybernetic score going down, as well as a second pylon. And as soon as the cybernetic score comes up, you will be building a stalker to deal with this pesky SCV, who is of course scouting around, which is never good. Second gas coming up. Here it is still only one gas for now. And the command center is getting morphed into an orbital command. Yes, that was available already. That was one of the key things on the game. And as you can see, the factory is not even going down next to this this barracks. So he's not even going to wall off even now. Because wall offs, yeah, they came in a little bit later. And they're really not that useful against Protoss anyway. I mean, Protoss, what are they going to do? Rush zealots at you? Yeah, I don't think so. Anyhow, cybernetic score researching the warp gate, which is of course still and has always been a very important research. This is, by the way, Metropolis, and Metropolis is a really cool map because it has two gold expansions in the middle, which you can well, basically not defend. They're impossible to defend. Yeah, well, they are spawning on opposite sides of the map, which means that this one is for the bottom player, this one is for the top player. And well, this would be the main invasion point for this one, and this would be the main invasion point. Oh, this would be the main invasion point for the other one. But with these watchtowers, you can actually, because they're still, oh no, they changed the name, but back then they were Zelnaga watchtowers. You can actually see both of the bases, and well, you have one and your opponent has one. So it is really risky to do anything there. Oh, we have a Reaper out. Yeah, Reapers were also very popular for quite a while. And as you can see, the Reaper is coming out. It's going to do some harassment, and it still has the old abilities, which is the jetpack, but also the explosive things that you can use against buildings that made it really take down buildings really quickly. And obviously they were as weak as they are now, but well, the stalkers taking care of that. But yeah, they were really good against buildings, as in you could with a few Reapers you could take down any number of buildings. If they didn't meet enough opposition, they would just take out the buildings by just, well, attacking them and then running back, so jumping off the cliff and then running away and then coming back later to once again attack them a few times and then run back. But they have very high powered weapons against those buildings, and of course they can jump up and down cliffs, which is a really nice thing to have for anyone really. The probe is over here, by the way. I kind of expected the probe over here, but He wants to have that advanced scout. And actually a Hellion coming in, but the Hellion is not going to do very much against 3 Stalkers. Already down to 1/3 HP, and that is not going to be good for him. He's going to have to sit back and wait for the rest of the team to come, well, rescue him basically. The medevac is going to go down to these 2 Phoenixes, but the Phoenixes are also pretty low. Yeah, he does pick off the medevac eventually, but he does lose 1 Phoenix, and the second one is pretty low. So, well, there's that. Well, the Phoenixes did get scouted. And, wow, the Viking actually landing, what? Why? I don't know. Anyway, Twilight Council out, which means that he can now research Blink for his Stalkers. And Blink Stalkers, of course, yeah, they are really good. Let's see what the Terran player is actually planning to do. Because, well, he is building, or he was building that factory earlier. And now attached a tech lab to it, so he can actually produce tanks now. And tanks are indeed what's going to happen next. So yeah, the entrance is pretty well sealed off, and he is going to build a little bit of everything for now. The Destiny Cloudfist build, as Husky used to call it. It's 1 barracks into 1 factory into 1 starport, and then you go from there, because then you pretty much have every unit available if you build the correct things. And yeah, it works out really well. It was really popular in the beginning. I think this is out of the beta still. But man, this game has survived all that time. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I think that TLO was even still playing random back then, because he played random for quite a long time and then eventually decided to play only 1 race, which is I think Terran, but I'm not actually sure about that. But I think he started playing Terran at some point. As you can see, scouting the top, well, the high ground with that Phoenix. The Phoenix takes a little bit of damage to the shields, but only to the shields, and yeah, they get a free tank out of it. So that was good. The Marauders here, they're not going to do very much. They're going to pick off 1 of these, but, well, actually picking off a tech lab, unless, yeah, the SCVs are going to come in. They are going to repair that, and this should now all be fine. So, all in all, if he did 1 more shot with his Stalkers, it would have been worth it. Because a tech lab is worth a little bit more than a Stalker, but well, no research coming out yet. Look at those, look at those icons, man. All just placeholders for what they were going to be later on. Nowadays, they look like this, like super good, super pro design. And I think that last one is the new picture, because there was no old picture or something like that. I don't know, but it looks kind of out of place here. So everything was green back then. I kind of gave it a massive overhaul at some point and replaced all of the old, well, monocolored thingies with or icons, I guess, with multicolored. And yeah, it looks really cool. I think the new one. Well, the old one looks pretty cute as well, but anyhow, we're going to get an expansion finally from the Terran player. The Protoss player also expanding, but the Terran player had his command center built over here quite a long time ago. And he is actually going fusion core, which means that we are going to see battle cruisers really early on 1 base basically. Well, he's now mining 2 bases, but well, that is really aggressive. It also means that he's going to have some backup army, and I don't think these few Marines will actually do, because battle cruisers, although they do quite a bit of damage, they're not really that good against blink stalkers, because blink stalkers will just blink underneath them and just kill them, just straight up. So unless you have something to deal with the Stalkers, yeah, it's going to be hard to go up against them. And as you can see here, we have a Nexus that is fully loaded up. He doesn't want to deal with that anymore, it seems. But yeah, that's costing you a little bit of minerals if you do it like that. And yeah, the Stimpack finally being researched. It is of course nowadays the prime thing to, well, it was in the first Starcraft as well. It was the prime thing to research. And look at this, the army is trying to hold off the Blink Stalkers while they try to poke at this this command center. But yeah, really not able to actually kill them. Only a little bit of damage done to the shields. This one lost some shields, this one and this one. Oh, this one's already back up, never mind. Yeah, so actually a reasonable defense by the Terran, but yeah, with the tanks coming out, it should be way better. Some Marines over here. But yeah, the whole army just retreating, well, all of a sudden. No, not really sure what that is about, but well, probably has a reason. And as you can see, doesn't want to give the scouts, but I think he saw it anyway. Yeah, he did see that there was something there, and now he scans it, so now he definitely saw something was there. Oh, the everyone cam, and let's add this to the production tab. Yeah, I'm not actually sure what's what, but I think this is with the High Templar, so that they arrive with higher energy, and they will have the Psi Storms at higher energy. Well, they will have Psi Storm available straight away. So the Phoenix finally goes down to one of the random turrets that are there. And he can actually produce a new one just by using this, the Hallucinate. But he doesn't have Hallucinate upgraded. Hallucinate used to be, well, not played at all. Then people discovered that if you hallucinate a Phoenix, you can actually scout the high ground and yeah, take out buildings on the high ground while staying on the low ground. Same goes for a Colossus. The Colossus is, I think, more expensive to actually use. And yeah, then people use it all of a sudden, and nowadays it's not used again. Every now and then we see a hallucinated Phoenix to scout around in the enemy bases, and yeah, that might be worth it, but it is kind of a pricey upgrade to just scout around with. It was initially intended to be used as decoy. So you would be able to get a number of these sentries out and just use the hallucinations that they produced as decoys for your army. So you would have an army of Stalkers and you would hallucinate Stalkers in there just to make sure that your Stalkers are, well, a little bit safer. And of course that doesn't only go for Stalkers, it especially goes for the high priced units such as Immortals and Colossi. But because, well, if an enemy can pick those off, that is really pricey. Ghost coming out, by the way, as well as a new battle cruiser. But the Ghost is going to use EMP on those High Templar and going to try to snipe them, because they are rather weak, but they have very strong attacks, especially the AoE attack, of course. But look at this, just massive tank line with battle cruisers for everything that flies. There's the whole lot that flies, so that's why it doesn't really matter. And they can shoot at ground targets pretty nicely. They have, yeah, not a whole lot of damage. It's only 10 damage per shot, but it is very high weapon speed. So they can actually shoot very quickly, and that is where their strength lies. So they can pick off small, well, small items, small units, as well as big units, because, well, small units, yeah, you need to have a rapid attack with not too much damage. And, well, big units, you need, well, high DPS, basically. And look at the amount of damage they take from the tanks. They are going to move in, though, And here come the storms. The storms are going to be massive on those tanks, but tanks do not take too much damage from storms. And yeah, even though they took quite a bit of damage from it, as you can see, they're all about half health. They did win out that fight because of the battle cruisers and tank fire. Just not finishing off the units while getting his units completely finished off. Only had like 3 units left from that. And yeah, this is going to be hard to break now, because now this whole army survived. And well, the Terran player is just going to build more. He's going to build more of the big units, and the big units are going to do very nicely against this. The new orbital command coming up, and it is still 2 bases, or well, 3 bases to 3 bases basically. But this base is mined out, so it's 2 to 2, but it's the same. This Nexus, however, just came up, and the Nexus is going to be on a high yield expansion, or the rich minerals, whatever. It's a high yield expansion. It gives you more more income than a normal expansion, and it is really risky to take though. But the Protoss player might actually get a big advantage out of this well, this high risk expansion. But well, we'll have to see if he can actually make that work. By the way, this guy still has all 3 mining, although this is kind of, yeah, it's almost done, but it is still mining. This one is going to time out next time he comes by, and pretty much everyone except for this one is going to stop. But yeah, it is 4 bases versus 3 currently, and since they need to be on equal bases to be, well, it's not like Zerg. Zerg has to be 1 base ahead to be equal, but here they're pretty much equal if they have the similar bases. So the Protoss can actually afford to lose a few more units. I guess the Terran can actually, yeah, he can get more up. Hang on, yeah, the yellow is indeed, that is the Protoss. He is mining way more, but yeah, he's also losing more, so that kind of comes together there, I guess, in some way. Anyhow, yeah, it's a little bit slow paced because well, it's still early. Well, it's still beta, I think, at least. I'm pretty sure this is still beta. And yeah, well, people of course need to find out how the game works exactly before they can go for more aggressive strategies, because that is not, well, that's not how that works normally. Normally you don't go very aggressive strategies early on. You go for the safe ones, the ones that you've practiced. And as you can see, the missile turret trying to come up, but that's not going to work. Oh, the battle cruisers moving in. 5 battle cruisers now. It is going to be so epic if this fight actually happens at some point. There we go. Oh, the massive feedback there. Getting all kinds of damage on those battle cruisers, but also removing their energy, making sure they cannot use the Yamato cannon. And wow, that might actually be good enough. So they're going to try to pick off the battle cruisers one by one. And yes, it is actually going to work. As I said, battle cruisers really need to have a backup army, and that is exactly what they didn't have here. They forgot to bring the rest of the army with them and got owned because of that. And as you can see, this is not going anywhere. So the Protoss doing a great job of picking off units, and finally, yeah, the battle cruisers are gone. So he's going to go into carriers himself, and carriers, of course, are kind of the well, the ultimate unit on Protoss. You don't see them a whole lot because they are very expensive. Dark Shrine actually up. Huh. Does he have any Dark Templar? Yeah, he does. There was one. There's one Ghost over here, and for the rest, well, the Ghost does have an observer right above it, so it's not going to do very much. This missile turret, however, is going to shoot the observer. Hello, bye-bye. Yeah, so that wasn't going anywhere. And this photon cannon gets unpowered because of the siege tank there. So yeah, finally, even though we have a base up here, we can't really do anything about this. There come the carriers. Carriers are of course really good against battle cruisers because they have more range, and the range on these guys is enormous. I don't know if we have anyone that can actually show me the range. Yeah, the problem is these interceptors, of course. You need to build the interceptors, and you need to make sure that, well, the interceptors count keeps high, because as soon as you lose all the interceptors, they're going to become pretty much worthless. And there you go. You can see the range on those. You can pretty much micro them, well, however far you want. And yeah, the missile turrets are not going to do very well against them. However, the mothership might actually die here. It is going to be very close to dying. The vortex goes down. The vortex sucks in all of the battle cruisers, and therefore, yeah, the army gets reduced by quite a lot. Oh, it sucked in all of the interceptors as well. And there are the battle cruisers back. The battle cruisers are, however, going to have to fight on their own now. But there is no army for the Protoss. So the battle cruisers are going to live. 2 more arrived. And yeah, he's going to have to run away. Although new troops arrive right at the moment he wants to retreat. And they are going to hammer down these guys one by one by one. They're going to be so good against this. Yep, no backup army. Oh, shoot down this guy. It is like 1 HP. There you go. Finally it goes down. And he needs more Stalkers though. He needs more Stalkers to make this work. Although it is kind of working. One more carrier coming in, but the carrier is going to go down. Finally, the last battle cruiser goes down, and there comes the rest of the army. Well, not rest, but the new army. It's only some zealots though. He really doesn't have that much. Oh, he does have quite a bit of minerals though. But let's see what this guy has. Well, he has a more balanced account here, but it is not very high either. Well, he can warp in like 100 zealots here, which is not very useful, but he can do it. And then try to at least take this base. But I'm sure he will find some use for his minerals. Yeah, the battle cruiser is not really working out for a Terran player here, although they are doing some nice work. They're really too expensive to just sit around on their own. He did pick off all of the interceptors though. As you can see, only very few interceptors. There are like 6 interceptors from a total of 3 battle cruisers, carriers. And that is just not enough. And as you can see, the battle cruiser just picking them off one by one. And yeah, he needs to heal them back up, or well, build them back up. You can have 8. But yeah, he has 3 now on this one. 3 and 3 and 5. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit to rebuild, but then he should be able to re-engage. And of course, this base is almost down, so there's really no reason to take it out other than that it's in his way. But this base is way more important. He might want to consider that one. And wow, he's going to go in all in. Oh, but loses all of his... Yep, all of the interceptors die. There's only 1 interceptor in this entire fleet. Oh my god, this is going to be all about the interceptors. He is, however, going to pick up this base, because it is just flying into, well, enemy territory now. Because this is now enemy territory. Yeah, bam. Bye-bye. See you later. So yeah, the one Dark Templar doing great job there of shutting down an entire base and actually spotting that base, which is also good. And as you can see, there is a little bit of an army going up over here, just to see what's going on and just to make sure that that base wasn't up, but the base was up, so he's now going to send in his entire army. 5 battle cruisers, 3 tanks and some marines. And yeah, the tanks and marines are going to do just fine of protecting these battle cruisers. Battle cruisers can deal with the carriers because, well, they can pick off the interceptors pretty quickly. And as you can see, with the Yamato cannon up, it is actually pretty easy to take down the carriers themselves. And yeah, even without it, it is no problem. At this point, it is the battle cruisers battle to lose. Yeah, if they keep running into well, armies without backup, so if they don't have their backup with them, they're going to die. But every time they have backup, or there are just a huge amount of battle cruisers just sticking together, then there's really nothing that can beat them. Just the fast shooting, they shoot over 4 times a second. Yeah, that can take down entire groups of units, as you can see, but also pick down the smaller units. And he's really just going to take over this base. He's going to set up bunkers and tanks and everything to take over this base. In the meantime, the Protoss going to go into this base, going to pick that off, and yeah, now we can pick off everything that is still available, and well, basically shut down this base. He's not going to rebuild this. There are 2 little minerals left, and just yeah, the base is dead basically. Yeah, obviously you're not going to defend a dead base. You are, however, going to pick off whatever you can for free, because, well, some of the interceptors got sniped for free. And interceptors, they do cost 25 to build, and, well, a few seconds. 8 seconds. Is that the time? Yeah, I think so. We can see it on some other... I don't know who else had a... Anyway, I'm assuming it's time. Yeah, it is. Nowadays it's a little clock, which makes more sense than something greenish. I can't really see what it is anyway. Maybe it is a clock. I can't see it. It's too small, and it seems more to be gas than anything else. But here you can see it. The difference between the timer and the gas is actually really small. That, of course, is no good. It needs to be clear what it's supposed to be. I guess in these ones, in the top ones, it's clear. Anyhow, we do pick off some of the enemies, and look at this, another base being built, but the enemies, so the Protoss, actually planning to build a base here, so that is going to be interesting to say the least. Anyhow, yeah, it's going to be pleasantly surprised to find a base there, and we'll be able to pick that off, no problem. So the Protoss just going all in on this. Look at that, so many feedbacks, and yeah, the feedbacks are going to do pretty nicely against this, because it means that there are no more Yamato cannons available. But I think he used some of them already, or well, either that or there just wasn't a whole lot of energy on them. Obviously, if you have full energy on a battle cruiser, it's going to be very painful to go up against something like feedback. But if you don't have full energy, then yeah, it really doesn't matter. Just a waste. Look at that, so many of these High Templar just to deal with the energy on these battle cruisers. Because, well, these kind of things, if you take out 100 and well, up to 200 HP of the battle cruiser straight away, that is obviously going to be very valuable. And going to try to pick off what? The tech lab? Oh no, no, of course, the fusion core. The fusion core is going to go down. There you go. And that means no more battle cruisers for now. He can, however, not build any anyway, because he doesn't have the minerals for it. He has been pretty starved for most part, because, well, his this base was pretty successful, but this base, yeah, it was already picked off once, and this base didn't come up yet, and this base got shut down. So yeah, he's a little bit behind on the Protoss, and the Protoss obviously doesn't have a whole lot either, but at least he has a bigger army. Not actually sure about that. 132 versus 110. So yeah, it is a little bigger, the army. A few of the minerals are going to get taken back to the base, but yeah, that is not going to be very effective, obviously. And the carriers are going to group up with all of these stalkers and a few zealots. The zealots are going to do very nicely. Oh man, the big fight then. No backup army for the... Oh my god. Yeah, you can see it. There is no backup army, no ground army or anything like that for these battle cruisers. So they're going to get picked off. They're going to get a few kills on the stalkers, but there's still a massive stalker army available. And obviously, yeah, that was very pricey. Oh my god, that was so incredibly pricey. He is rebuilding his fusion core, but he lost all of those battle cruisers, and that is going to be GG. So yeah, this is the last base. He had mining. This base is out of minerals. Well, it pretty much is out of minerals. This one's pretty much out of minerals, and this one's completely out of minerals. So yeah, in the end, it was the Protoss player who won because he had more mining going. And well, I thought it was pretty interesting. So hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. GG.